Hello everybody, this is Johns Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-minute history videos. And today I am playing hooky from Baltimore and going to school at the same time. And if you're asking, Johns, what are you talking about? I am playing hooky from Baltimore by being out here on this farm in Catonsville in Baltimore County. And I'm going to school because since the 1950s, this farm has been owned and operated by the Baltimore City school system. And today is an open house with families and kids, and I'm hoping to catch up with some of those in a second. But first, we have to start with the question, how did Baltimore City School end up owning and managing a farm in Catonsville? And for that, we have to turn to a gentleman named George Bragg. We're going to have a little bit of interruptions. There is a turkey next to me and obviously some nice goats behind me. George Bragg was born enslaved in Virginia right as the Civil War was starting, 1863. After the Civil War, he took advantage of some new, still limited opportunities for Black Americans. He, by the age of 20, had an education at a seminary. He had started a newspaper that he owned called the Petersburg Lancet, and he worked as a page in the state legislature in Virginia. In 1891, he came to Baltimore to St. James Church in Lafayette Square in particular. St. James, incidentally, was the first Black Episcopal church south of the Mason-Dixon line. And Bragg was there for about 50 years. He was a staunch advocate for Black Americans and for poor Americans, and that intersected with a focus on poor Black kids in Baltimore and the Baltimore area. In the late 1800s, Bragg was one of the people who started a new organization called the Maryland Home for Friendless Colored Children. It was a home in West Baltimore. I think it had two places in West Baltimore at first for kids, and they stayed there, got an education there, and that was going pretty well. But in 1911, I believe it was, a property, 33 acres, opened up here in Catonsville, and Bragg jumped. He purchased this property, and into the old farmhouse, he put cots for 32 kids plus 5 adults. And out of this farmhouse, they tended animals. They had cows and pigs and at least one mule, and they cultivated crops. The kids built a lot of the buildings that are on this place today. Things changed in the 1920s when Bragg was able to raise a little bit more money, and he built a chapel and a school, and he also started to let in day students. If you were a working family, particularly a working mother, you could, for a modest fee, I think $3 a week, drop your child off here for schooling. Whether you were a boarder or a day student, you got the same education, and when you left, which was age 13, you had skills in masonry and carpentry and definitely animal husbandry and how to work on a farm. Things were going on pretty well, but in the 1930s and 40s, society's approach to kids who needed help changed, and orphanages and boarding houses were fading away, and the foster care system was coming. And by the 1950s, this property became up for sale again, and the Baltimore City school system purchased it. The school used it as a nursery at first, planting seedlings to be put on school properties, and as a nature center. And I have to ask, if you came to this place as a kid in school in the 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s, drop us a line. We would love to hear from you. And the school system used it up until the 1990s, and then it went, and I think the term is fallow. That's what happens to a farm that's no longer being worked, and it sort of sat dormant until 2008, and that's when a group of school employees and volunteers got together. The school system had identified this parcel, which it still owned, as a potential agricultural education, environmental education place, and these volunteers worked on their Saturdays and weekday nights, and they fixed greenhouses, they cultivated fields, they planted fruit trees, they fixed up buildings. They've raised over $1 million to support this place, and today it is alive with energy and activity, including the turkeys and goats behind me. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Thousands of kids come here each year to learn about animal husbandry and planting. Thousands more benefit from the program, bringing the farm into the classroom, and with things like how to make seed beds and how to compost. And I am going to stop before I get overrun with a herd of goats and stop talking and go try to round up some of the kids and families who are here and talk to them about what's going on. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ann Rosenthal. I am a farm to school specialist with Baltimore City Public Schools. And welcome to Great Kids Farm. Although we're located just outside the city limits in Catonsville, we are part of city schools. So this is a campus of the Baltimore City Public School District. Specifically, the site is managed by Food and Nutrition Services. So the same department that operates our school breakfast, lunch, snack, and supper program operates this farm. The idea is that we can't really expect students to make or to be interested in trying new healthy foods in the cafeteria, at home, and beyond. If we've never really given students the opportunity to get a hands-on experience, either planting, harvesting, or somehow connecting with their food system and with nature. So this farm is really all about education. We produce a little produce, but it's mostly about educating students and giving them that hands-on opportunity to connect with nature and their food system. So during the school year, in the fall and spring, almost every day, we have students here for educational programs, free field trips. We have other programs that kind of extend our impact onto school campuses. So we support school gardens. We offer farm to classroom programs where our staff goes into classrooms. And then we have other events throughout the year like free summer camps, student summits. We have high school interns, you'll see some today, who are back helping out with this program. So if you're a family or a friend of Baltimore City Public Schools, please follow the district on social media to learn more about our programs, or you can go to www.baltimorecitysschools.com or .org/farm-school to read more about our programs.
I'm Miles. I'm here from City Neighbors, and here at Great Kids Farm, Right now, I've already planted some strawberries. We're doing a scavenger hunt here.
And are you having fun?
Yeah.
What's your first name?
My name is Jalil Josiah DeShields, and I made a strawberry, and his name is Jalil.
Excellent. And and we're gonna do it. Nice. Oh, nice. Is this the first time you've been to this farm?
Actually, it's my first time, but actually it's my second time going to a farm.
All right. Oh wait, Delia, one more question. Are you having fun?
Yes, 1,000%.